All right, we are here for Heat Celtics, third time in 4 years in the Eastern Conference Finals. Welcome to Prize Picks on 5. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick. And at 5 Reasons Sports, above me, I got David Friedman. You can follow him at Talk About Sports. And we got David Eversole. You can follow him at David W. Eversole. We tell you the same thing all the time. Use the code 5, F-I-V-E, F-I-V-E. Get your initial deposit matched up to $100. They cannot match your deposit unless you ask. Oh, I'm sorry. What the heck did I just do here? Okay, there you go. They cannot match your deposit until you actually deposit money. That's what you have to do. So if you want to deposit 20, you can, but you're not going to take a second bite of the apple. They're not going to give that to you. So my recommendation is, if you plan on playing quite a bit, put down the 100. Let them give you the free money of the 100. Play it, and when you're done, cash out. That's the best way to go. So go to PrizePicks.com. Go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. You can play 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players together, and you can pair players from different teams and from different sports. We're going to focus tonight, though, on the Heat and the Celtics game one. We're going to give our prized picks as we go forward, but I do obviously want to focus on the core players at the beginning. So let's start with Jimmy Butler. The number on the board is 27.5 points. I did not play that. I played, and I may regret this, I'm playing 4 points in the first 6 minutes of this particular game, because I sense that Jimmy's going to come out game one. The Heat have won both game ones on the road to start the playoffs. I feel like Jimmy's going to come out, try to be a little bit more aggressive tonight. I tend to be wrong when I say that, so I'm just warning everybody, but that's my play on him tonight. Either of the Davids, would you play anything Jimmy related tonight?
I do think I think he'll get points tonight. I don't know if he'll get. I think he's going to try and get everyone involved in the beginning of the game. So I don't know what that for. I told you what I did last game with the Jaylen Brown and Tatum thing. They both hit 4 exactly. I could see him starting slow. I would say maybe rebounds or assists with him. I think they're going to try and get the ball out of his hands a lot tonight, right? So
you would think. I don't know if they're going to send a ton of doubles early. We'll see. It's hard to know because we haven't. So that we haven't seen Missoula in a playoff series, so that complicates things a little bit. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play out. We lost Mr. Eversole here for a second, so as we continue on this, Bam, David, I'm playing him over 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He averaged better than that against the Celtics this season. He averaged better than that against the Celtics in the postseason last year. What would you play on Bam?
It makes me nervous, like with the Robert Williams stuff, and we talked about Horford. Like we both like him in other areas, so I don't know. I mean, Bam has done what we were saying he needed to do, and he's been more aggressive. And I don't think all of a sudden he's going to stop doing what he's been doing. So I don't know what his number is at field goal attempts. I think it's probably pretty low considering where he might be at. So I would probably go somewhere in that.
Well, he's averaging 15 field goal attempts in the playoffs, which is right around where he was in the regular season. It's a little bit below. I don't know if they have that one up there. There's that
14.
14. So okay, so they know what it is. Obviously, 14 is about what he averaged in the last third of the season, but the number has ticked back up recently. Eversole, would you play anything on Bam?
Yeah, 18 points. I kind of kept it simple with Bam. Mm-hmm. Kind of what you said on the Jimmy Butler point. To get him going early, I think they need to do that with Bam. He's had a lot of success versus Boston this year. I think 25 points a game. Get him going early, get his confidence up on the road. I think Bam could go over 18 points. Even if he started slow, he's kind of picked it up in the second half. But if he could put together, a complete 4 quarters, I see him going over the 18 points.
All right, let's pivot to some other guys on the Heat. My favorite play tonight, I got a couple that I like as we go to some of the others. I'm playing Kyle Lowry under 1.5 turnovers tonight. He's averaged roughly a turnover a game over the last 6, so I feel fairly comfortable with that one. I was uncomfortable playing him points, minutes, any of that kind of stuff because a lot of it depends on how Gabe Vincent plays. But I just know that Kyle tends to take care of the ball. Any Lowry props that either of you two guys like?
My second Heat choice would have been Lowry over on assists. I told you, game 1 last series, I thought in the Garden, Kyle Lowry's not phased. Same thing, different Garden. But yeah, I just think that they trust him today, right? And so he might get some extra run.
David?
Yeah, I like him with 4 assists as well. I think that's a pretty good play. Or rebounds and assists. I think he was just at 8. So
Mm,
he's out there. The minutes, like you said, could be a concern, but he's played heavy minutes against Boston this year.
that's
So
right.
if Gabe is rough, I could see them needing that steady hand of Lowry, especially in the second half. If Miami's got a shot to steal the game, I could see Spo, shutting down Gabe if he's just out there chucking threes. And if Lowry's giving you that on the defensive end, I'm curious to see how Vincent matches up on defense. I think that'll kind of in his course of play, not necessarily maybe his offense.
Well, one thing to consider is last year, Vince Oladipo was 4th on the Heat in minutes in this series. So you have no Oladipo and you have no Hero, which means that to me, and this is my next play, but I'll get to Lowry in a second. Back to Lowry in a second. This is one of the reasons I'm playing Caleb Martin over 1.5 free throws made, which is one of my favorite props. But I just think Caleb's going to play 30 minutes to make up for some of those minutes that you don't have now with Hero. You have Love, but you don't have Hero. You don't have Oladipo. You don't have Tucker from the last Eastern Conference Finals. Those 3 guys played a ton of minutes. So that's one reason. But the other thing is, when I look at Lowry's situation, he will play some with Gabe. So that may be a little concern to play any of the unders on him, but I feel like turnovers is relatively safe. Anyway, Caleb, over 1.5 free throw attempts. Do you guys like any of the Caleb or Love props tonight?
I'd like to, with Caleb, the rebounds and assists or points plus rebounds, in one of those combo props. He's been really good, just kind of consistently putting up numbers across 2 or 3 different categories. So I would like him maybe playing like points and rebounds.
Anything of these other Heat guys, David?
I don't know what they are, but I mean, I like Kevin Love just in general. I think like the same thing I said about Kyle Lowry in terms of not being phased by the moment. I think Kevin Love, this is a game where they lean on him, right? Not necessarily like a ton of volume, but this is a game he needs to show up and like hit some shots and get some rebounds from Horford, like we were talking. So I don't know where he's at on the. Give it to me all. Give everything Kyle Love. All you need is love, right? There you go.
All you need is love. Right. Well, he is also playing to keep his starting job for the rest of the series, too, because I don't know necessarily that Spo's committed to it. We'll see. They're starting Robert Williams on the other side, so Kevin Love is starting. All right, so let's pivot to the Celtics now. I had trouble with a lot of their props because I love playing Derek White for them against the Heat, but he's not starting. So I don't know where that's going to go. But I'm looking at Jaylen Brown's numbers. Just to start there, David. I'm going over 3.5 field goals made. He's averaged a little over that in the postseason. Home officiating, game 1. Feel like Jaylen's going to get to the line some. Some of the Tatum props scared me. Would you play anything on Tatum or Brown?
I know, and I feel like Tatum could just kill us tonight, and that wouldn't be shocking. I mean, I think they'll try and load up on him. I do like Jaylen Brown probably a little more tonight, but I think like Tatum. I think he's going to go back to what we thought Tatum was. Everyone started jumping off the Tatum bandwagon because he had a couple bad games, but that's not going to happen against the Heat. So,
well, he's had wild variances against the Heat, though. That's the thing. Like, he had that unbelievable game. They had the back-to-back this year, and he was unbelievable, and then he was awful the next night from an efficiency standpoint. Before we get to the other players here, Eversole, any Tatum Brown props you like?
I look Jaylen Brown over 2.5 threes. I think Miami's going to give him something that looks. Sorry, my dog's barking. Of course, it's been one of those shows, but I like him over 2.5 threes. I think that's one of the things that Miami's defense might give him.
The other props, I know which one you like, Freeman, but just let us know again here.
By the way, you stole my opportunity to tell you that Gabe Vincent is my other pick, 3.5.
Well, I said anybody else.
Over 3.5 assists, but the reason is he's been over that like 8 games in a row. So
wait, he's been over 8 games in a row. Which prop?
Over 3.5 assists.
Wow.
You stole my thunder. That was the only thing I really had some numbers for, So, anyways, we're going to the Celtics. Horford over 9.5 rebounds plus assists.
Yeah, that feels safe. That feels pretty safe to me.
I feel like he can get 10 rebounds tonight, but I think he's good around 3 assists, like a guaranteed 2-3 assists every night. So, give me that all day.
Gives you a little push. Any of the Marcus? I don't know if we're getting Eversole back here. So, any of the Marcus Smart props?
I like him over assists. I think he's at 5 assists. I like him. Usually, I don't know what he's at. Threes made, threes attempted, but I like them on that. The Heat give up a lot of threes, and teams shoot a lot of threes against
Well,
them.
they also specifically give up a lot of threes.
Right.
Yeah.
Tatum's at like I think 10.5 or 10 3-point attempts. Like I like those types of props against the Heat.
All right, so those are our picks tonight. You can check them out. You can check out Eversol's picks too on Twitter. I think his dog had him for dinner, but we'll catch up with David on the next show. Again, you can also play if you want to get in quickly here before 8:30. They've got a new category on there that they started last round, which is series props. It's through the first 4 games because obviously we don't know if there's going to be more than that. And if you take a look at those, you can see Jimmy Butler on there. I think it was 107 points or something along those lines. Felt fairly safe. The problem is, of course, that you got to wait for it to play out for 4 games. So if you're impatient, play the props tonight and see where those go. But some of the ones we like, again, that Gabe Vincent prop over assist sounds pretty good. The Horford stuff sounds pretty good, too. I feel like he's going to get a lot of work here. I think Malcolm Brogdon was somebody else that Eversol might have liked.
I said Brogdon over like 5.5 3-point attempts. I mean, he's been 5 or 6, and I just feel like that's pretty much where, yeah, there you go.
Oh, there it is. There's your prize pick. So Eversol's behind the scenes now. All right. Well, we'll get all of our picks up on Twitter. Also, check out the pregame show. That's been on already here on the channel, so you can check that out. Jonathan Romlican, Marco Romo, and Gad Cartagena went live at around 6:30, but all of that stuff still applies. There's no changes to the starting lineup that we know of. Playback during the game, post-game, check out 5 on the floor. Have a good night, everybody. Use that code, FIVE.